I feel like I'm obviously going to have to learn something about editing because I'm going to have to figure out how to put these two videos together. But hey, it is what it is. Anyway, as I was basically just wrapping up, just saying what else has gone on. Or maybe I'll make a whole nother video, maybe I'll watch this and think it sucks and try again at home when I am comfortable. Anyway, I believe I was talking about Markel at this point. They said yes, he was the voice of reason, which he was very shocked. And I think that was another thing that kind of stuck out to me, because recently I was in therapy, and I've taken custody of my little sister, and she sees the therapist. So I'm talking to the therapist, and she was like, so do you realize that you are the rock, the matriarch of this family? And I don't know why it made me start to cry, because you don't realize how good validation feels until it happens. And because it just feels like you're working and working and working and working, and you're just doing it like by hook or by crook, and just kind of on cruise control, because certain things have to get done. And it's an amazing thing when somebody says to you, do you realize the impact? So I did want to make sure to kind of make a point about that. Also, she asked him, do you know what you want to, do for a living? Do you think that you, she was saying, I don't think you have a whole lot of fear. Do you think you would be afraid to go to school and get a degree? And he says no. She's like, well, why haven't you? And he at this point, kind of shrugs, I don't know why. She's like, well, if you could, what would you do in it? He said child psychology. And as soon as child psychology left his lips and she went to go ask another question, he just began to feel it. And it was so funny that I recognized it, because that's kind of how I have any of my breakdowns. I'm good. And then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, I thought you said you were straight. And you're like, I was lying, because I was. And I feel like it was a kind of a big moment for me personally, because the first thing he said was, the first thing that Iyanla said was turn away from the camera, because obviously she didn't want any distractions. And as he was breathing, she was like, that right there, feel it, go through it, put a voice to it. And I feel like there's so many, the reason why I love this show and I love Iyanla is because there's so many times where we're going through something really big emotionally, and we have no idea how to articulate it, or we don't even know how to process it. The only thing we can do is distract and deflect for ourselves, because we don't want to have to feel that moment. It's like you don't want to sit there and let this big ass train that's labeled emotion come and fucking hit you in the face. You don't want that. So you're basically hopping around seeing if you can dodge a bullet, when you got to take the bullet and heal, boo. You got to take the bullet and heal. And I truly feel that way. And she was like saying, listen, he also started to get upset as well, because he's like, you're saying all these things and I don't feel that because I don't have custody of my kids right now. Oh, God. Somebody's trying to say something on this damn radio. Just ruin my YouTube debut, why don't you? Jesus Christ. What is this? These white people got me scared sometimes. Anyway, what was I saying? And she was basically telling him, like, because he doesn't have custody of his kids, and he was really upset about that. Like, I don't even feel like I can do any of those things if I can't even take care of home. And she's like, how would you have known to do that? She's like, you went from a wounded and broken child to a wounded and broken man to a wounded and broken father. There was no teachable. There was nothing for you to glean if there was no one to teach you, baby. And it's sometimes that I have to learn for myself. There were just some things that I just didn't learn because I wasn't able to experience them, whether it was childhood circumstance or whatever the case may be. And I feel like a lot of times, even if we're in a bad situation, you gotta give yourself some kind of credit, man. You know what I mean? You're not just an inherently bad person. You weren't taught. And then she also said, what if you weren't supposed to have custody until you had some healing? Like maybe there's a reason for this. And he was like, well, my dad did that. And I'm like, but you coming back. There's a big difference. Like, you want to go ahead and make things better for yourself so you can be there for your son, so we can live with you 24/7, so you can see the childhood that you lost and try and make up for it with your children. I'm not gonna lie, that's basically kind of where Iyanla Vanzant's episode ended. As usual, I enjoyed it. I loved it. As per usual, it never disappoints. I love Iyanla. I will be reviewing her every week, and I really can't wait to see what happens. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to end this. I'm not sure, how I'm going to do this later, but it'll be nice to get a crash course in editing, I guess, because these videos definitely need to be put together. And also, by the way, if anybody, I'm sure there's so many people that know so much more than me when it comes to editing and putting videos together and all that good stuff. Try not to be too harsh and judgy, because I'm trying. But I would love any and all advice. Again, this is Sid the Kid signing out, and that's it for this episode, and see you in the next one.